Hi there, my name is Stephanie, and I am the teacher in the Yellow Room, and it's so good to have you all here. Thank you so much for helping me. I am working on my master's degree in early childhood education. So if you filled out that survey, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I wanted to, as a part of this process, is to introduce you or make a connection between home and school with the pyramid model. So at school, we're following the pyramid model. This is the second year that Head Start's been in the pyramid model. So Miss Tammy, if you were one of Miss Tammy's families last year, this year she's the coach. So she's coming in and she's helping all of the teachers to really understand in depth what we need to do to follow that pyramid model. And the pyramid model is really just a framework for trying to do positive behavior intervention. So we want to look and see how the kids are behaving and what we can do as teachers in a positive way that will help them to be able to make safe, appropriate choices. So it may not be that we don't look at kids and say, oh my gosh, they're acting so inappropriate or ridiculous or they're so frustrating or annoying. It's that there's a problem there. Maybe they need a little bit of help. Maybe they need a schedule, a visual schedule to help them to see what's coming next. Maybe they need the words for us to say to reaffirm that they're doing things the way that they need to be done, that type of thing. So my goal here is to help you to understand how the pyramid model framework works and what you can take from it and use at home. So in this, it's going to be super short because I know it's difficult to sit down and find time to watch a video. So I'm trying to keep this to 20 minutes. The pyramid model really has 6 modules. And ideally, if we weren't in COVID times, we would be coming together and creating that sense of community and all being able to share and get to know one another. And there's a PowerPoint presentation that's already set up for us. So I'm just kind of reducing it down and give you the little, the highlights of it. So module 1 is building connections. Module 2 is the power of play and playful parenting. Module 3 is expectations, setting up those expectations for kids so they know what it is that they need to do. So maybe that's visual schedules, that type of thing. Module 4 is emotional vocabulary, which we've been working on, and we utilize Second Step as part of our curriculum. So I'm sure that you guys are familiar with Second Step, and we send that home as part of our parent connectors when we talk about naming the problem or naming the feeling, that type of thing. Module 5 is practical practices, things that you can do at home that will work for you. And module 6 is understanding challenging behavior. So there really are very few kids that will get to that top of the pyramid. So the pyramid module is really, shaped like a pyramid. So down at the bottom, that's the majority of the kids that really can kind of go with the flow, get along with everything. And then we're building up. And at the very tippy top, we've got a small percentage of kids that really, really just need some intentional, intensive intervention. And, which is okay. There's a lot going on in the world, a lot of stressors. So really with COVID and everything, we might have a greater percentage of kids that need that more intensive intervention. And that's okay. That's what we're here for. So I appreciate you showing up and being here for this time, and I will make it as short and sweet as possible. And always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or to Miss Dawn. Thank you. Hi. Okay. Part 1, module 1, is really about building relationships because that's really the basis of where everything starts. So sometimes it can be difficult because, we all are busy. We have limited time. The kids are coming at us and they're needing things. I know when I come home at the end of a busy day at work, my daughters can be demanding some attention from me, which can be very challenging. So I often leave my relationship building till the end of the day, where I make sure that I have a little ritual with her that I've had since she was a little girl, where I come in and I say goodnight to her, and it's kind of a tuck in, and she's 15, so it's been going on for a long time. I am going to share with you a little connection ritual that I've done with her since she used to be my pre-K student many, many years ago. It's called Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and it's very sweet and it's very meaningful to her still. So building connections is so important with kids. It's helping the kids to feel loved, to feel safe, and to feel special, because there's so many other things that take up our time throughout the day that they want to feel that they are important to you, right? My oldest is 27, and so he's doing okay. And granted, he's a boy, and sometimes it's a little different with the boy that he still texts me and calls me. We still have a regular connection that he needs to feel reassured that I think that he's intelligent and that he's made good decisions and that I'm proud of him and I think that he's a strong man. Girls sometimes need to feel that they are, intelligent and beautiful and creative, all those things, because honestly, we're battling with social media so much today. So it's really, really important that when they want to feel special, that they're coming to us for that and that we can fill that need. So filling that tank is something that the pyramid model really speaks about. And you can fill your tank by reading a book with your child, giving a hug. If you're not a touchy-feely person, which I understand, maybe you write a note. At school, when the kids feel like they're missing mommy or daddy, yes, they do want to make a heart for them. So they cut out a little heart and, I help them maybe write like, I miss you. Or sometimes we may email or text a parent that I miss you. And that's important for them to feel that connection. I found it with my own children that at the end of the day to have kind of a ritual that we would read, they do bath, read a story, I'd rub their back, something where they were kind of calming and soothing and making that connection. Again, it's to help the child feel loved and safe and special, competent and confident in who they are. Every child needs somebody that feels crazy about them. And I try to do that for you, when they're there with me during the day. I really, love on the kids and share my space, share my lap, share my love with all of them. We want the connections to be positive, to be secure, and, playful. That's really who they are at this age, is playful. So this is one of the connections that we do at school. This is my daughter Caroline, and I've been doing these since she was a pre-K student when she was 4. So the first one is called Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So remember, with all the connections, that you want to have gentle touches, eye contact, and a playful situation. So you do with me. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, what a wonderful child you are, with bright eyes and nice round cheeks, a talented person from head to feet. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, what a wonderful child you are. She especially liked that one when she was getting ready to go to sleep. So when she was in bed, it was super sweet. Here's another one that we do in the classroom. We do this, we make pairs. So the kids get knee to knee with a friend. It's called Here's the Bunny. So you make one partner is the little hole and the other partner is the bunny. And then they switch. So it goes like this. Here's a bunny with his ears so funny. Here's the hole in the ground. When a noise he hears, he picks up his ears and jumps in the hole in the ground. And gives a little gentle squeeze. So they're really making that connection. And again, it's about eye contact, gentle touches, and a playful situation. Hi there. In this next module, we're going to talk about the power of play. And so part of playing is following the child's lead, because play is the child's job. You know, really, we all, as we grow, we kind of let go of that and we follow we follow the rules and expectations. And it's okay to have expectations, of course, and we do need to have rules, but we kind of lose sight of what that means to play. And maybe you're one of those adults who has the benefit of being able to be on a sports team or something where you can really play as an adult, because that feels awesome. But if you can sit and watch the beauty of child's play, it's just amazing. Amazing. So we're so fortunate to be able to be in the presence of play. And then at home, you know, if you can kind of follow your child's lead, you know, see what it is that they want to direct, because they often do have a really, really explicit plan of how they want to play. We do a lot of narrating play, so that means kind of like a play-by-play, so sort of like a sportscaster, and saying, oh, you're picking up the blocks and you're putting it on top, and you're taking the red one and you're putting it on top of the yellow one, you're building it even taller, and oh my goodness, are you going to be able to make it as tall as that shelf? Wow, that's amazing. And you know, encouraging creativity, and oh, you took those things, those were little things from the packing box, like, oh my gosh, and you thought that you could take them, and they do kind of look like snow. Wow. Or you colored them, and you made them look like the hay for the horses feed, whatever it is that they're getting into. Like, they have an incredible imagination that we tend to lose sight of as adults. Just kind of watch for those cues and see where they lead you, and avoid those power struggles. It's so often that we find ourselves as adults wanting to intercede in their play and to challenge that and give them limitations. But if we can kind of step back and let them do what they're doing, and they're figuring things out, and if you can kind of remember what it was like to be a kid, and see, like, what is it? What are they doing with that rope? Why are they trying? Oh, okay, they're trying to tie it up there. And oh, okay. I have all this internal dialogue as I watch the kids on the playground, and see how their thought process is and how they're trying to figure out things, because that's such a fantastic opportunity to allow their brains to figure things out. And it can be lots of fun. When they feel that freedom, sometimes kids will look back at me to check and see, is this okay? Because sometimes I've not been allowed to do this, and I just kind of nod along, and I'm there to make sure that we're all safe. And if there's an issue of safety, then I will intercede. But I notice what they're doing. And again, I narrate that noticing, like, oh my goodness, you made that go through that other part, and oh wow, on that top part, and yeah, when you pulled it tight and that really held it there, oh, I see what you're doing. And then they feel that sense of pride, like they've been able to figure it out. They own that. Helping them to share toys, that's such a difficult thing. And I've kind of, even as a grown-up, confused like sharing and taking turns. I've sort of melded those into the same thing, but really it's not. You know, sharing the things is like, here, I'm going to take a turn, and then now it's your turn. But if we're going to do it together, you know, we're going to share those materials. So taking turns was like, here, I'll have a turn, and then now it's your turn. But if we're going to share them, like, maybe we can build it together. Like, I'll put the blue one here, and you put the blue one there, and then I'll put the red one, and then you put the red one. So we're kind of sharing in that experience versus taking turns. So some things you could try as a family, you know, to set some time together, to decide that, okay, we're going to turn off the TV at 7:30. And that way we have maybe 10 or 15 minutes to be able to play together. We're going to do build with blocks, or we're going to play a little game. There's all kinds of things on YouTube that you can find. It's a fabulous resource. Or you could set a goal that maybe I'm going to stop and I'm really going to focus on my children. And there might be an issue of jealousy. Maybe you have multiple children. And so, but you let the other child know, like right now it's Julie's turn, but in a few minutes then it'll be Danielle's turn. And so you're setting that boundary and that expectation that they will get their time, but right now your focus is on this child, and that's perfect. Okay, this module is on setting expectations. So it's really important for kids to know what it is that you expect from them before you set about a task. So it could be expectations for getting ready for bed, before going to the store, for getting ready for school. You want to give your kids some clear instruction and really just limit it to one thing at a time. This is when it's really helpful to have like that visual chart for them. And again, I'm really totally happy to make that for you. We found that that's so helpful even in small parts of our day. We'll have things broken down. So when we're at the carpet, they know exactly what we're going to do at the carpet. Like first we're going to read a story, then we're going to sing a song, then we're going to play a game, then we're going to transition. So even for them to see that little picture visual is helpful for them to know in that short period of time what it is expected of them, and when it's going to be over, because sometimes it's not what they want to do. So really tell them what you want them to do. Focus on what you want them to do, not what you want them to do. So say we want kids to be walking in the classroom, so instead of saying don't run, we say we use walking feet. You can tiptoe, you can monster step, but you may not run, that kind of thing. Rules for home, you want to have about 3 to 5 rules, and that's what we've got for school. We've got 3 kind of umbrella rules: be safe, be respectful, be responsible. And under those, each of those big rules, we have little rules. So be safe, we have, we walk. Be respectful, we sit at the carpet, we sit. Be responsible, we clean up. So real explicit about what those behaviors are. As far as clean up, like when we hear the music, we stop, we pick up our toys and sit on the carpet. I've got a little picture cue for them to know exactly what to do. Maybe say at home, again, I have a 15-year-old, so if I say our rule at the house is to clean up after yourself, well, what does that mean exactly in the brain of a 15-year-old? So I really honestly have to be explicit. So put your dishes in the dishwasher. I know. I have to tell her explicitly what to do, even though it's right there. Pick rules that can be applied to the situation. I think it can be really, really helpful. I wish I would have done this with my kids when they were little. I think you'll really enjoy. Please do utilize us for help. We are more than happy to help you. Okay, our next module is about having emotional vocabulary. So talking to children about their different emotions is really important. And you know that we send those parent connectors home every week, and we have that little face where you can help them describe and to be able to draw what that feeling might look like. And that goes along with our second step, which is part of our one of our curriculums on social emotional learning. A little bit different than pyramid, but they all kind of work together. So children who have a strong foundation in emotional vocabulary will have fewer fights typically. They'll be less impulsive and more focused and have a higher academic achievement. So it's really worth, taking your time to talk about, find some books at the library, or, make sure that you are talking about those things that we send home that are connecting with the picture and the story that you see about emotional vocabulary. So talk about feelings, but not just about the typical feelings like happy and sad, mad, but going beyond that. And, what does anxious look like? What does worried look like? Excited. Reflect on different situations and give some of those problem solving scenarios, like what if yada, yada, yada happen. Again, see if you can connect with the library. Fremont Library is a wonderful resource. We do have something that I can send home with you if you're interested. It's called Tucker the Turtle Takes Time to Think. It's a social emotional story that we've talked about in the classroom, and I can print it up for you so that they can have it. It could be a little story like on a keyring, or I can do the full-size picture for you. So it's Tucker the turtle, and he's a turtle who has a problem with a friend, and he gets into his shell, and then he ends up taking a deep breath, takes those 3 deep breaths, and he thinks about his problem and how he can solve his problem, and then he's able to come out of his shell. It's just a perfect way to help the kids, give them some ability to solve their problem, and a way that they can achieve a solution. Hi there. Our next module is about practical practices. So these are some things that we actually do in the classroom. They involve logical consequences. So say if a child throws a block at another friend, I try and give 2 positive choices. So you can build with the block, we can count the blocks, but we may not throw the blocks. I wouldn't take the blocks away from them because I want to give them an opportunity to be able to make a safe choice with the blocks. My number 1 job is to keep you safe. Your number 1 job is to help keep it safe. So always just trying to think of those 2 positive choices, and that could take some time with your own framing of things to be able to get used to. Try to anticipate the needs of the kids, or of your child. If you have one, it's a little bit easier. If you have multiple, it can be harder. You think about, okay, we're going to go to the store. What will my kid need? Have they not had a nap? Will they need to have a little bit of food before they get in there? Will I need to tell them the expectations before we get out of the car? Some kids need different things. And give them some reasonable choices. We can have this cereal or this cereal, but we may not have that one. I used to tell my kids when they were old enough to be able to read numbers, like if it has 10 for sugars, then it's okay. If it has more than 10, then no, we're not going to get that one. So they had some sense of power and choice in that. So just think about, when can you give a choice? If there's something that you need them to do, you could think about, again, allowing them to have some power. So you might say, first eat dinner and then we'll play toys. We have to do that a lot at school. We use our visual schedule. So we might say, okay, first we're going to read the story and then we're going to go outside. Another one is redirection. Like if a kid is just completely having a meltdown, we might look outside the window like, wow, look at the sky. Something that we learned from one of the recent trainings that we had was to look up. That we like, oh, what's up there? So when the kids' eyes go up, that their brain is not able to process an emotion. So it gives us the opportunity. It's kind of like a little trick. So we have them look up and they kind of forget what they're doing. And then we can direct them in a different way. Another thing is to have them drink water. So that water helps to dilute the cortisol in their body. And the cortisol is a hormone that is just, making it difficult for them to be able to self-regulate. So 2 tricks, like looking up and drinking a cup of water, like slowly drinking. And the kids usually feel like you're making a connection with them when you say, would you like some water? It's a good one. When kids are frustrated, say like trying to work on a puzzle, because some kids aren't quite there yet where they're able to work on those interlocking puzzles, we give them the vocabulary to be able to say, you seem frustrated. You can ask for help. Say, please help. So we give them those words to say, please help. If maybe you've got a younger one that's in their high chair and they're just all, discombobulated, you say, are you all done? You can say, all done. Sometimes if they don't have the vocabulary, you can use a little bit of sign language, like all done. It's just having that power for them to be able to express their needs and their wants. When children don't comply, what the pyramid model teaches us is to do something called doo-wop. So The do is to state the do direction, like put on your shoes. And then we wait. The W is the wait for compliance. We want to give them a few seconds, maybe 5 seconds that you're just counting in your head. Then we ask the child to restate the direction. Like, what did I tell you to just do? Put on your shoes. Then we wait again for the compliance. And then we say the P, the do-wop, the P part is to provide encouragement or help. Like, oh my goodness, you got your shoe on your foot. You got your toe in there. Wow, that's amazing. Now you just pull it a little bit more and you'll get your whole foot in there. So you could give them that encouragement, or you can provide them some help. Some kids really genuinely need some help. And the last part of this is to, really catch your kids in doing what they're the kind of the good. I hate to use the good and the bad, but noticing. Everybody wants to be noticed. So I really avoid saying good job because that's judgmental. And I don't want the kids to ever feel like if there's something that they can't accomplish, that they're not doing a good job. So I just narrate what it is they're doing. Like, oh my goodness, you went up the steps like this, and then you came down just like that. And you put your arms up just like that. You did it. That's amazing. Just noticing, just using those words and narrating, kind of like you were, narrating a football play or something. It's perfect. The kids love it. Okay, our last part is on understanding challenging behavior. So really trying to figure out what is the behavior saying. If you look, you want to look and see what happened before, what the child did, and what happened after. So you really got to break it down and do some reflection and to figure out what does this mean? What is your child trying to tell you? Really, children are going to do what works for them. So if they throw a fit on the floor and you give them what they want, well, okay, then they're going to keep throwing a fit on the floor because that worked for them. We want to try some preventative strategies and teach them, healthy, helpful ways to communicate. A simple thing that we could do is to have like a chart that, of course, this is backwards, that shows them what to do. Maybe in the morning, your first thing would be to have breakfast. So they've got, this is very simple, just written out. So I've done breakfast, and next I'm going to brush my teeth. And after I brush my teeth, then I'm going to put my backpack on. So something where they feel like they're in charge and they could move that. And if you need help, I will totally make something for you. It could be something with real pictures that are laminated, and some kids like to be able to tear off those things with Velcro, and it's really impactful for them. Having a visual schedule, a visual idea of what you expect them to do it could be life-changing. So please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Teaching them ways to communicate. So you seem really frustrated. You wanted to be able to have that marker, but your sister got it first. What can we do? Say, when you're done, I'd like a turn. And put your hand out and say, turn. Depending on what their age is, they might not have the vocabulary. We start with our, 2.5, 3-year-old saying, turn. Just touching the palm of their hand, turn. Letting them know that they want to turn, and that grabbing for things is not okay. And again, just making sure that those behaviors that you don't want are not rewarded. And then we're recognizing and giving that affirmation of, oh, you used your good words. That is so helpful. I know it's been a challenge for me when kids come up and grab things from me. My first reaction would be to take it back and say no. But I've learned that they need to have that memory of what's appropriate. So I say, put it back in my hand. And they put it back in my hand. Do you want to have the pencil? Okay, use your good words. And then they ask, can I have the pencil? Oh, of course, you used your good words. And then I give it to them. So it's creating, that muscle memory and utilizing those good words and that appropriate behavior that we want, and rewarding that with, a smile and positive affirmations. So thank you so much for watching the videos. I hope that some of this helps you. It is a journey and a process. And again, making that homeschool connection is so helpful. If we're all utilizing the same language, we could do amazing things. Please let me know if there's anything that I can do. I'm so willing to create anything that you need. Personal schedules for you, just let me know. Appreciate it. Thank you.